was like, okay, I want to do the gastric sleeve. Do I regret having a gastric sleeve? Stay tuned and you will find out towards the end of this video if I actually regret having the surgery. Hello and welcome back to my channel, Twi'Ann TV. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my gastric sleeve journey. I'm not going to be using a lot of medical terms. If you want that, there are tons of videos that are produced by like hospitals and that sort of thing that goes over the medical terms. I'm just going to give it to you straight like this. So before I actually get into my journey, I want to kind of give you guys some backstory of what got me to this point. So actually, growing up as a child, I was a pretty healthy child, great weight, that sort of thing, no issues there. Moving forward to high school and still a very healthy child. I was working out 2 to 3 times a week. I would get up in my mom early in the morning and go exercising. We'll run anywhere between 3 and 6 miles a day, depending on what time we got up. And then that afternoon, I also played sports. I did tennis, track, basketball, and some volleyball, but mostly tennis, track, and basketball were my sports of choice during my high school career. So even my mom fixed very, very healthy food. We weren't allowed to do a lot of sugary drinks. It was just pretty much water. Even to this day, if you go to my mom's house now, there is a whole case of water in the fridge. Like, get you some water. It's good for your skin. It's good for healing your body. It's good for everything, which I really appreciate. And my mom, even though we were Southern, she definitely found ways to make healthy alternatives to a lot of the good soul food that we like to eat. So I don't think I was consuming a lot of bad calories there as well. So moving forward to I'm now in college, usually have the freshman 15. I actually did not gain any weight during the freshman 15. And instead I lost weight. So I end up dropping down to about 160 pounds. And I will try to make sure that I insert like a picture so you can see, but I was quite small and I absolutely love my weight. I thought that it really fit my frame. So I then got on birth control. When I got on birth control, that is where a lot of my weight gain happened. I was gaining a lot and I had the implant in my arm. I had it for 3 years, took it out, had it for another 3 years, and then I went with the Mirena for 5. So I gained some weight during the time that I had the implant in my arm. I'm not sure if my weight was attributed to that or if it was just, I was just eating my feelings, girl, and I was just going crazy. It probably was a combination of the two. I was eating out all the time, drinking with friends. It was just easy, young. My exercise began to get less and less and less. And so I began to get bigger, bigger, and bigger. I didn't gain weight too fast that it was terribly noticeable. But then it was like one day I woke up and I was like, girl, you're too big. So in 2016, I was around 250 pounds. I went to the Novant Bariatric Center to start, get my gastric sleeve journey. I was like, yeah, this is what I want. I know I qualify. I have insurance. Cool. Went in there. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. They started by talking about finances and all these different things. I said, I cannot afford this surgery. Like, no, I can't afford this. And you guys, I didn't do it. I wasn't ready. I was like, I'm not that fat. I'm cute. I'll just, wear shirts that kind of flare around my belly so you can't see what was going on. And I continued. And then May of 2020, COVID, I got pregnant with my twin boys. And by now, you guys, I am 300 plus, okay? Like I was a thickums, okay? And so I was like, oh no, like I need to take my weight seriously. I need to do it for my boys. Like, I need to do this for my boys. And I began to have a mindset change because I didn't want to die prematurely. My boys not have anybody here to take care of them. I didn't have a lot of health issues as far as high cholesterol, pre-diabetic, diabetic, or anything like that. Only thing I had was hypertension and asthma. My asthma developed when I was 26. It does run really, really, really bad in my family. So that's probably a lot of genetics come into play. But I was diagnosed with asthma, and I had hypertension since I was 16 years old. So to this day, they still can't find anything wrong or underlining a reason for me to have it. So it's just one of those things that I'm just always going to have and have to live with no matter how much weight I lose. I just will always have to take medication for that. But as far as having kidney disease, liver disease, anything like that, no. So I was a relatively fat, healthy girl. So I was like, whatever. But something about seeing my boys, it woke something up in me because I can't leave them prematurely. Like, we all have to go someday, but I want to not necessarily be on my terms, but I don't want to speed up the process, if you know what I mean. And so I was talking to a coworker of mine because she was telling me how she had a gastric sleeve, and she was like, yo, you should go see Dr. V. So Dr. V, or David Vollinger, works at the Novot Bariatric Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Great facility, very thorough, very kind. And okay, so she recommended Dr. V, and I said, okay, so let me give them a call. This was January 2021, you guys. Like, I was very serious about this. Like, I have had so much clarity on my life. Like, my boys, they weren't home yet from the hospital, and I called them to schedule an appointment. Dr. Vollinger was so busy that I could not see him until May. That was my first appointment. Like, he was booked and busy, but it was a blessing that happened the way that did. So I was like, okay, cool. I had my appointment set. I told my friend, she's like, yes, good job, girl. It's your first step. And I was like, yay. I'm super excited. So my boys come home, and I did drop a lot of weight once I left the hospital, but I was very much still large. Like, I was still 340, 350 pounds. So I was 100 pounds heavier than when I originally went to the bariatric center. So I had to get this weight off. So fast forward, it's now May. Now, COVID is very much still happening at this time. And so we had, most of our appointments were virtual appointments. So if you see me looking off to the side, it's because I just want to kind of make sure that I'm giving you guys the correct timeline. So I am referring to my computer to make sure that I give you guys the correct timeline. So prior to actually having my meeting with Dr. Vollinger, I had what I would like to call a pathway coach. Her name was Cheryl. She's absolutely fabulous. We had a lot of conversations, and she was kind of telling me expectations, finances, like all that good stuff. So don't worry, I'm going to discuss all of that with you guys. So every bariatric center is going to be different. You have to call your center to see how they function, but generally, I'm assuming this is kind of how they work. So you have to have kind of like a pre-screening, if you will. And she sent me this really large packet because she want to know, or they want to know everything about me, my health history, my behavioral history, which would be like your mental, that sort of thing, what I eat, my exercise, my highest weight, my lowest weight, what are my goals, and what surgery am I considering. So I heard a lot about gastric sleeve, that I was like, okay, I want to do the gastric sleeve. Do I regret having a gastric sleeve? Stay tuned, and you will find out towards the end of this video if I actually regret having the surgery, or if I would have elected to have something else. But so they want to know if you're a smoker, if you're a drinker, like your entire history. And you have to give it to them prior to your meeting because he needs to kind of go over all this so you can have a paper version of what you are and expectations. So you might not be a good candidate, or you might not be a good candidate right now. So I sent in this document. When I sent in that document, Cheryl sent me a document back about what my expected financial costs would be. And it had kind of like a breakdown. And I think at the time, I was probably around $2,000. I was like, okay, that's cool. You have to have this paid before your surgery. And I was like, you know, it's May. So more than enough time to have this paid before my surgery. So I'm like, I'm good, girl. Let's go. Like, you guys, my mindset has changed so much from when I originally went to the bariatric center to this one. So I had my meeting with Dr. Vollinger. You guys, he's super, super, super nice. He's this really tall, large guy, and he answered all my questions and that sort of thing. And so I was officially on the pathway. So they like to call it pathway, and there are different checkpoints along the way that you must meet to stay on schedule for your surgery. And if you detour from the path, then, you know, it can prolong you having your surgery. I was gearing for December, and I will explain that in just a second why I was gearing towards December. So I'm on a pathway and that sort of thing. So now they're shooting like different emails and paperwork to me because my primary care physician actually has to sign off on the surgery in order for them to move forward with the surgery. So my primary care physician, I already told her about this. So she was like, girl, yes, give me the paperwork. Let me just do some blood work just so I can have my own peace of mind to make sure I can see where your levels are, to make sure that you are able to have the surgery, but easy peasy, no pushback. She was like, yes, I'm all for it. Now, again, this is my gastric sleeve journey, so I will probably maybe insert like a video right here of the gastric surgery. But what happens is that there are 4 incisions, 3 for the cameras, and 1 is where they will actually remove your stomach, which is right above your belly button. I think the surgery just maybe about an hour. I can't remember, y'all, but that was some good sleep. I do remember that. And so, yeah, and they basically would go in, they would cut a generous portion of your stomach that would sew up, take and dispose of your stomach through your belly button, and, you know, you're good to go. And it's going to be shaped more of a funnel. But I will try to put a video here that's kind of showing this as I'm explaining it, because the video probably do a better job. But like I said, I'm not using medical terms. That's just how I understand it, and maybe that will help you understand what's happening. So I was like, I'm ready, I'm down. So primary care physician signed off on it. So next you will get assigned a dietitian. You get signed, I don't know the technical name, but a person that's kind of going to measure my fitness level. So you get signed a fitness instructor, if you will. And then you also get signed a therapist, because we got to figure out what are your triggers. So why are you eating yourself like this? Because for some people, it is a mental thing. They associate food with comfort. Food makes them feel better. We got to get to the bottom of it, because we don't want you to repeat these same behaviors. But this is not a quick fix. This is a lifestyle change. It's not an easy fix. It's not a quick fix. It doesn't happen overnight. So, yeah. So I met my dietitian. She was super, super nice. She gave me a lot of tools and different things I could try, books to read, asked me, you know, different questions so I could figure out like how I can not repeat this behavior, and just make it really easy to follow along. And your dietitian kind of stick with you throughout this whole process. But she also has to sign off on, at least here she has to sign off on you. Like everybody has to sign off on you at these different checkpoints. And so my dietitian, we were doing well, and they want to see you lose weight. The weight, when I clocked in, that was my starting weight. I could not gain an ounce more than that. You have to either maintain the same weight or lose weight. Now, that may be different at your particular center where you want to go to, but I want to say at most, once you kind of get on this path, you can't gain any weight, because they want to see that you are trying before the surgery, right? I didn't go to the actual clinic itself to do the physical aspect. I can't do that virtually. So there was, she had me doing squats and wall push-ups, and she was basically just trying to show me how I can use my home as an exercise center. I don't necessarily need to go to a gym to put my body in motion. That's what she was just trying to stress to me, but she signed off quite quickly. And she also weighed me. Like at a lot of appointments, they weigh me, or they ask me to weigh myself at home because they want to check to make sure that I'm not gaining any weight, but I am losing weight. So she signed off on me. So far I had 2 people sign off on me. That was my primary care physician as well as when I got the physical. So next up, I had the mental therapist. I already had a mental therapist, and so I explained that to them. She talked with them, and so maybe that's why I only had 1 appointment with her, because she spoke to my therapist, and I was telling her that I've already started working on that. And so she did sign me off quite quickly. I don't know if I actually if I eat my feelings. But when my period come on, ooh, child, ooh, I want all the sweets, all the sweets. That's pretty much the only time I eat sweets, my period come on. My main thing was just, it's not that I didn't like to cook, I just lost my passion for cooking. And so I would just go out to fast food, and I just eating way too much fast food, y'all. Way too much. It made it so easy. And then you started having the Uber Eats and a DoorDash and all these different apps that can bring the food to you. Like, girl, stop. Okay? Like even they can grocery shop, okay? So that was my thing. So once she signed off for me, I was like, okay, I have 3. It is required to have an endoscopy. I will see if there's a video that I can find, but I'm just going to try to describe the best way that I can. Basically, they put a camera down your throat, and the camera has a little clamps that they're grabbing some material from your stomach to test it to make sure that I didn't have some sort of bacteria inside my stomach, because that could cause some issues or delay with my surgery. So luckily for me, that all came back, checked out fine. You do have to have somebody to bring to the hospital. Once again, they checked my weight. Now, interesting fact, they didn't actually weigh me on the scale. She asked me like, what's your weight? I didn't know what my current weight was. I made my weight more than what they last had written down. I got a call and I almost had my surgery postponed because it's like, girl, you gained some weight. So I actually physically went to the clinic. They actually weighed me, and they was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I told her my weight. She didn't actually tell me to get on a scale. And so I didn't know what my weight was. So I just assumed, and they was like, yeah, don't do that. Get on the scale. So do not lie about your weight, you guys. Get on the scale and know what your weight is. Lying about your weight is lying to yourself, and it can hold up your progress. So once again, let's recap. My primary care physician, she signed off. My dietitian, she's basically signed off. My physical coach, she signed off. My mental therapist, she signed off. And my endoscopy came back fine. I've completed my path. It's now December. So with my particular bariatric center, you have to do 2 weeks of a clear liquid diet prior to your surgery. And the reason why is because they're basically trying to shrink the fat around your liver. And then you have to do 2 weeks of liquid diet after your surgery. Now, this is where I hear a lot of changes, because I've known some people that have gone 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks after their surgery of doing a liquid diet before they can move to more of the soft food. Every clinic is different. Follow your centers, what their recommendations are. But 2 weeks prior, I had to do a clear liquid diet. Y'all, by day 3, 4, I was pissed off at the world. Do you hear me? I was hungry. I want to say, screw bone broth. Screw it. You guys, I'm still finding bone broth in my closet, in my cabinets, and I'm over a year post-op now. I'm just almost 1 year, and 1 year, almost 1 month post-op, and I'm still finding bone broth. That's how much bone broth that I had. Oh my goodness, y'all, it doesn't get any easier, but I already had the mindset that I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this for my boys, and I had a great support system to keep me on track, and so I did it. It's mind over matter, you guys. It's just all mental. So when you can get over that, you're good to go from there. So, but yeah, so I had the endoscopy done, all that came back, and I'm on the clear liquid diets. It's tough. Now, also, in my particular doctor office, they prescribe you stool softener. They prescribe to you heartburn medication, nausea medication, and pain medication. So you have to have all of that filled prior to your surgery because they want you to already have it on you because, you know, there are weight restrictions and that sort of thing because you have those 4 incisions, you know, that we spoke about earlier. And they don't want you to irritate those incisions. You do want to walk because you want to minimize, like, you know, clots and that sort of thing. But you want to make sure that you are comfortable. So definitely take your stool softeners, your heartburn medication. Even if you don't think you necessarily experience a heartburn, believe me, you do not want to experience heartburn when you had this surgery. Take my word for it. Take the medication and make sure that you do have them filled. So also too, you will have to have vitamins, okay? So the first one that you have to have is a multivitamin. So I actually bought this from the bariatric center. This is not my autofocus lens, but this is the Chewable Advanced Multi-EA Mixed Fruit Dietary Supplement on chewables from Bariatric Advantage Innovations. Y'all, get this from Amazon. Stupid expensive. Another thing you're gonna need is calcium citrate chewy bites or calcium citrate. It don't necessarily have to be chewy. I prefer chewy. So it's 500 milligrams IU of calcium and vitamin D3. These are sugar-free, but they're not a low calorie. So mine looks like that. Okay. So again, you don't necessarily have to get this from your bariatric center. A lot of people like to do that because it's like, oh, I know these are the right kind. I know they don't have sugar in them and that sort of thing. But I mean, it's going to be pricey. Also too, protein. They're going to pump this into your head. Get your protein. Minimum of 60 milligrams. Minimum of 60 milligrams. You can get those protein drinks or protein powder. You want to try to make sure you have kind that doesn't have like a lot of the sugar and stuff in them. If you can find you a good keto, actual keto, usually they have the good, not good sugar, but they won't raise up your blood sugar level. They're pretty good. Some of them kind of chalky, but it will get you the protein that you need. But you want to do at least 60 milligrams of protein. Now, they told me how much sugar to stay away from. I cannot remember now, to be completely honest with you. But your dietitian would tell you like how much sugar she or he wants you to consume or stay away from. So definitely follow them. But that's what I did. So it was water, protein, shakes, my liquid diet. That was it for 4 weeks or 2 weeks after my surgery. Now moving to the 3rd or 4th week, I was able to advance to soft foods. So in the consistency of basically purees. You have to puree everything. Everything must be pureed. Chicken broth is your friend, especially when it comes to protein, but puree. And I actually did that for 4 weeks. So 2 weeks of liquid diet post-surgery and then 4 weeks of purees. And then I went to soft food and then real food. That kind of give you the time frame. Everybody's different. But yeah, during that time, I lost a ton of weight. Like the liquid diet alone, I lost weight, and then the purees, and then your stomach small. So yeah. As far as complications go, right after surgery, there is a lot of gas. Now, at my particular bariatric center, we are required to stay a minimum of 1 night. And that's just to make sure that you don't have any issues or hiccups. However, there are places that say you can go home the same day after a few hours. I was very sick, you guys. I had a lot of nausea, a ton of nausea, but I was able to get it under control where they felt safe that I could go home. So I've heard different things. I know some people, they left the same day. It was required for me to stay. They want to make sure that you're good before you leave. I appreciate that. So definitely keep that in mind and ask these questions. Like when you hear me talk about this stuff, write that down about different questions that you want to ask your bariatric center because it may differ from mine. It may be the same. It may be more strict. So definitely jot this stuff down. Now, finances, I was lucky because I started in May and with all the different visits and doctor visits, I was able to meet my out-of-pocket max and my deductible. So I didn't have to pay anything as far as surgery-wise. There was a small little doctor fee. I think it was maybe about $150. Paid that, it's done. As far as surgery, no, that $1,600 some odd dollars I told you guys earlier, I did not have to pay. So thankful for that. So it worked out great that I started in May, because of all those doctor visits and that sort of thing. My out-of-pocket max is $0. Also, check with your insurance company. I did check my insurance company, and they did tell me that I probably would not have to pay anything. But if I did, this is an estimate. It's just an estimate. Things are bound to change, but that's also a great tool. So definitely contact your insurance company. Do not be scared to talk to them as well. Now, do I regret having the gastric sleeve? No, I do not. I do not regret having a gastric sleeve. However, I wish I would have did a little bit more research, which is a good thing that you guys are here, because, excuse me, I would actually opted to have the gastric bypass. The gastric sleeve is great, but you will hear about a lot of people saying they're having revision surgeries, or they're no longer feeling the restriction. Excuse me, that they're no longer feeling the restriction. And so I'm not there yet because I'm just a year post-op, but this isn't a quick fix. It's just a tool to help me lose weight and to kind of reprogram my brain and my way of thinking and my lifestyle. But I just felt that a gastric bypass would be more of a permanent fix and something that'd be more suitable for me. But, you know, the option is available in the future. I can definitely have a revision surgery and switch to the gastric bypass if I like. Will I? Probably won't, but at least the option is there. So yeah, so I don't regret it, but I just wish I would do a little bit more research. I say that to say, do your research, watch as many videos you can, join Facebook groups, ask questions about people who've been there. If you have questions and I didn't answer them, let me know. I'd be happy to answer those questions. If I'm noticing that it's a lot of questions, then I'll probably just make like an updated video of just kind of answering those questions for you guys. But I don't regret it. I'm so happy, my new energy, you guys. I could not be any happier. But I've talked long enough now. As you can tell, my throat is getting dry, but definitely follow me, you guys, on my new weight loss journey to just toning up and just continue to stay healthy. If that's something that you're interested in, I'm gonna show you guys what I eat. I'm about to eat the same thing for the next month, which will consist of 1 egg, 2 strips of bacon, and broccoli. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and protein shakes, just in case I decide not to have that for breakfast or dinner. They kind of switch it up a little bit. I will let you guys know how much weight I have lost in inches and that sort of thing. So I will have my measurements. But until next time, you guys, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to Twi'Ann TV. I would love for you to be a part of my family, part of my journey. I will have everything below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.